connecting the story of Moses and the burning bush to the acacia bush and the acacia tree, which is rich in DMT.
Throughout history, few figures have left a legacy as profound as Moses, the prophet who led the Israelites out of Egypt, parted the Red Sea, and received the 10 Commandments atop Mount Sinai. His story has been told for millennia, yet one of the greatest mysteries remains unsolved: the location of his final resting place. The Bible deliberately omits details of his burial, sparking centuries of speculation. Could there be a reason his tomb was hidden? And what if it was never meant to be found? Now, a chilling new discovery has sent shockwaves through the faithful. Renowned explorer Josh Gates embarks on a daring expedition to uncover secrets long buried in the sands of time. What lies beneath could challenge everything we thought we knew about biblical prophecy and the end times. Stay with us here on Jesus' Eternal Aura, where we explore the mysteries of faith, history, and the signs of the times. What's been found may be more than just history, it could be a warning.
It reminds me of a cairn, or in the other words, an artificial stone mound covering a tomb underneath.
Now, a new discovery has left many stunned. A research team led by explorer Josh Gates claims to have found evidence of Moses' burial site. If true, it could change the way we understand biblical history and signs of the end times. The online community has had mixed reactions to the news.
No one knows exactly where Moses' grave is. As the Bible says, God buried him himself. If there is a new discovery, it needs to be carefully considered to see if it is true or just speculation. The location of Moses' grave has long been a mystery. If the research team actually finds something, it could shed light on biblical history. We need to be cautious with claims like this. If there is indeed new evidence, experts will need to verify it carefully before making any assertions.
Is this discovery truly a major turning point, or just a controversial hypothesis? Let's take a closer look at the evidence presented and what it means for faith and human history. Expedition Unknown embarked on an audacious journey into the depths of the Sea of Galilee, driven by an unwavering mission to unveil secrets long concealed beneath the water's surface. Their quest: to investigate a mysterious submerged structure that could hold the key to an ancient historical enigma dating as far back as 1513 BCE. This daring endeavor was guided by a compelling legend, the tale of Miriam's well, a mystical source of water with an uncanny connection to the Israelites' exodus. But what could this well possibly reveal about the final resting place of Moses, one of the most revered figures in biblical history? According to Jewish tradition, a remarkable story is woven into the fabric of Israelite history. It tells of a miraculous rock that Moses struck, causing water to burst forth, a pivotal moment recounted in Exodus 17. This same rock is believed to have transformed into a well that miraculously accompanied the Israelites on their arduous journey through the wilderness, providing them with life-sustaining water. However, upon the death of Miriam, a revered leader among the Israelites, this well is said to have disappeared. The pressing question then arises: if this well was deeply connected to Moses and Miriam, how did it end up beneath the waters of the Sea of Galilee, especially when Miriam herself passed away in Kadesh? Could there be a far more profound secret buried beneath this ancient rock? Perhaps even the elusive tomb of Moses himself? Determined to uncover the truth, the team meticulously examined small stones discovered within the Sea of Galilee, suspecting they might be linked to Miriam's well. The leading theory suggested that these stones had been transported into the lake via an ancient watercourse known as Yavel Creek, which once flowed into the Jordan River. With the aid of cutting-edge technology and underwater excavation techniques, the team initiated a systematic search of the lakebed, scanning for anomalies that might point toward hidden structures. What they uncovered was nothing short of astonishing. Amidst the relatively flat lake floor, they stumbled upon an enormous mound of rocks, a formation so distinct that it immediately piqued the curiosity of Professor Marco from Tel Aviv University. Intrigued by the find, he and his team of divers plunged into the depths for a closer inspection, only to realize that this was no ordinary pile of stones. What lay before them was an intricately built structure composed of volcanic basalt rocks, each measuring approximately 3 feet in length. Their closer examination revealed a conical stone formation assembled from rough, unshaped basalt cobbles and boulders. This massive structure, estimated to weigh an astounding 60,000 tons, dwarfed even the most formidable modern warships. Towering at nearly 32 feet in height and spanning an impressive 230 feet in diameter, the structure was revealed to be larger than England's iconic Stonehenge. This unexpected discovery sent shockwaves through the archaeological community. As the researchers meticulously documented their findings, they observed that the rocks appeared to be randomly arranged, lacking any discernible pattern or evident structural design. Strikingly, there were no signs of human modification, no chiseled edges, no carving, and no distinct boundary lines to indicate walls or partitions. And yet, despite its seemingly haphazard appearance, the sheer magnitude of the formation suggested an unmistakable human effort in its construction. The real mystery, however, lay in its purpose and origins. As the investigation progressed, researchers reached a compelling conclusion. The structure had almost certainly been built on land before eventually becoming submerged. Supporting this theory was the fact that the closest known source of basalt rocks was located over a mile away, meaning that these stones had to have been deliberately transported to the site. This pointed to an extraordinary level of effort and planning, further cementing the theory that an ancient civilization had been responsible for erecting the enigmatic monument. Yet despite their certainty regarding human involvement, the researchers found themselves at a loss when it came to deciphering the structure's intended purpose. A host of theories began to emerge, each more intriguing than the last. Some speculated that the mound functioned as an ancient calendar or celestial observatory, aligning with astronomical events. Others proposed that it could have served a ceremonial or religious role, possibly as a sacred gathering site for ancient rituals. More outlandish ideas suggested that the structure might have been a site for sky burials, where the deceased were left exposed to the elements and scavengers, a practice observed in certain ancient cultures. However, what made this hypothesis particularly puzzling was the complete absence of any archaeological evidence pointing to a nearby settlement or civilization. Without such context, the purpose of the structure remained frustratingly elusive. One theory, however, sent ripples of excitement through biblical scholars and prophecy watchers alike: the possibility that the structure was connected to Moses' final resting place. Given the legend of Miriam's well and its supposed connection to Moses, could it be that this site held a profound biblical significance? The thought of Moses' tomb resting beneath the Sea of Galilee, hidden for millennia, sent shivers down the spines of those who considered the implications. What further deepened the mystery was the realization that the submerged structure bore an uncanny resemblance to other ancient cairns, rock mounds historically used as burial markers or sacred memorials in various cultures worldwide. This raised the tantalizing possibility that the site was, in fact, a vast and significant monument constructed to honor a great leader. Could this be the long-lost burial place of Moses, hidden beneath the waters all this time? The revelation of this enigmatic underwater structure carried profound implications, not only for biblical history, but also for our understanding of the Sea of Galilee's ancient past. Its submersion indicated that the lake's water levels were once significantly lower than they are today, hinting at dramatic environmental changes that had shaped the region over centuries. This discovery provided crucial insights into historical climate shifts, potentially altering how scholars interpret the ancient geography of the Holy Land. Driven by an insatiable thirst for answers, the expedition team devised an ambitious plan: a seismic survey designed to penetrate the lakebed and unearth whatever secrets lay buried beneath the murky depths. This cutting-edge geophysical technique, utilizing principles of magnetism, electricity, gravity, and heat, was expected to provide a clearer picture of what lay beneath the submerged structure. Could the survey reveal hidden chambers, artifacts, or inscriptions that might finally shed light on the purpose of the monument? For those who follow biblical prophecy, this discovery holds even greater significance. In an era where many believe that signs of the end times are manifesting around the world, the unearthing of a possible connection to Moses' final resting place has sparked intense debate. Could this be a divine signal, a revelation meant to awaken the faithful? Could the very waters that concealed this structure for millennia be preparing to reveal truths long hidden from mankind? As the expedition continues its groundbreaking work, one thing is certain: the enigma of the submerged monument beneath the Sea of Galilee is far from being solved. Whether it is an ancient ritual site, a forgotten monument, or, astonishingly, the burial place of one of history's greatest prophets, the implications are staggering. Until the mystery is fully unraveled, believers and scholars alike will continue to watch, wonder, and wait for the next revelation that could forever alter our understanding of the past and perhaps even the future.
Obviously, this isn't a magic rock that followed the Israelites through the desert, but, is it possible that this is connected to the story of Exodus?
In a groundbreaking expedition combining state-of-the-art technology and relentless determination, Josh and his team embarked on a seismic adventure, seeking to uncover hidden materials beneath the earth. Armed with advanced seismic air guns, essential tools in their quest for knowledge, they were prepared to penetrate the secrets of the depths. These impressive devices, resembling massive cylinders, were designed to release powerful bursts of compressed air into the waters below. As the air guns fired, the once calm sea surface erupted with energy, sending high-pressure shock waves plunging into the ocean depths. The waves traveled through the seabed with extraordinary force, bouncing off submerged structures hidden beneath layers of sediment and stone. To capture these crucial echoes, strategically placed sensors acted as vigilant guardians, diligently recording every subtle reverberation. As the air guns discharged bursts of compressed air, the sensors sprang to life, meticulously collecting essential data to help piece together the mysteries of the underwater world. Though the process was repetitive, it remained an indispensable technique, allowing researchers to build a comprehensive picture from varied perspectives and depths. For weeks, the team remained steadfast, enduring the vastness of the ocean and its relentless challenges. Each explosion of sound propelled them closer to uncovering secrets that had remained concealed for ages. Despite the isolation and the formidable task before them, their resolve never wavered, fueled by the anticipation of uncovering something extraordinary. And then, as the final echoes of their seismic experiment dissipated into the abyss, signaling the conclusion of their study, a wave of anticipation and relief swept through the team. They had gathered a wealth of data that held the potential to rewrite history. Back in the laboratory, scientists meticulously analyzed the vast trove of information gathered during the expedition. Each ripple, each reverberation was carefully examined to reconstruct the hidden structure beneath the waves. The painstaking process of data analysis and 3D modeling revealed a startling discovery: a massive submerged structure, astonishing in both size and complexity. As they delved deeper into its origins, the researchers began to suspect a link to an ancient legend long spoken of in religious and historical texts. One particularly intriguing possibility emerged: a potential connection to Miriam's well, a legendary water source steeped in biblical lore. According to tradition, Miriam's well was a miraculous source of water that sustained the Israelites during their arduous journey through the desert after their escape from Egypt. Could it be that this newly discovered structure was related to this sacred well? If so, the implications were staggering. deepening the mystery surrounding its origins and purpose. Miriam's well is mentioned in Jewish tradition as a divine oasis provided to the Israelites during their time in the wilderness. The book of Exodus recounts the struggles faced by the Israelites after they crossed the Red Sea under Moses' leadership. As they journeyed through the harsh and unforgiving wilderness of Shur, they were soon confronted with an existential crisis, a dire shortage of water. For 3 relentless days they wandered, parched and desperate, searching in vain for relief. Their hopes were momentarily lifted upon reaching Mara, where they found water. But their joy was short-lived, as the waters were bitter and undrinkable. In desperation, they turned to Moses, pleading for a solution. Acting as their intermediary before God, Moses cried out for divine intervention. In response, God instructed him to cast a piece of wood into the water. Miraculously, the bitter water was transformed into sweet, drinkable water, offering salvation to the weary travelers. Jewish tradition holds that this miraculous water source became known as Miriam's well, named after Moses' elder sister, a revered prophetess and a key figure in Israelite history. Miriam's significance extends far beyond her familial ties to Moses and Aaron. She is seen as a symbol of divine provision and intervention. Her role in the Israelites' journey is woven throughout biblical and historical accounts, from protecting her infant brother when he was placed in a basket on the Nile to guiding and leading the Israelite women in worship and faith. Miriam's legacy is one of resilience and faith. When Pharaoh decreed the death of all Hebrew male infants, she played a pivotal role in ensuring Moses' survival. Standing watch over his floating basket, she displayed a remarkable sense of courage and determination. Her vigilance and devotion marked the beginning of a journey that would lead to the liberation of the Hebrew people. In later years, she continued to be a guiding force, leading the Israelite women in song and dance after their miraculous escape from Egypt. According to ancient Jewish texts, Miriam's well was no ordinary water source. It was a divine rock that traveled with the Israelites throughout their 40-year journey in the wilderness, providing a constant supply of fresh water wherever they camped. Some interpretations suggest that the rock itself moved alongside them, while others believe that it remained in a single location, with water flowing forth whenever it was needed. Regardless of the exact nature of the miracle, its presence symbolized God's unwavering provision in the face of adversity. However, a profound turning point arrived near the end of the Israelites' journey. As they approached the Promised Land, they encamped in the desert of Zin. It was here, in the first month, that Miriam passed away, leaving a deep void among her people. What followed was an event that struck fear and uncertainty into the hearts of the Israelites. Miriam's well dried up. The once consistent flow of life-giving water suddenly ceased, plunging the community into crisis. This abrupt loss was seen as a test of faith, challenging the Israelites to trust in divine providence even when faced with hardship. The timing of this seismic discovery, potentially linked to Miriam's well, has sparked widespread speculation and concern. Many believers see it as a chilling sign tied to the unfolding events of the end times. Could it be that this hidden structure, now revealed after centuries of secrecy, is part of a divine warning? Is God bringing hidden truths to light in preparation for prophetic fulfillment? Some biblical scholars and prophecy enthusiasts suggest that the unearthing of such ancient sites may be a harbinger of events foretold in Scripture. The drying up of sacred waters, the unveiling of long-lost relics, and the signs emerging from the depths of the earth may all point toward the nearing of the last days. As Jesus himself warned in Matthew 24:37-39, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man." With history and prophecy converging in unexpected ways, this latest discovery has ignited conversations among theologians, historians, and believers alike. If this submerged structure truly holds a connection to Miriam's well, what other revelations might soon follow? Could more hidden truths from the time of Moses emerge, shedding light on biblical history and the divine timeline? For now, the faithful remain watchful, awaiting further analysis of this extraordinary find. As new details unfold, the world is left to ponder the deeper significance of these revelations. Are we witnessing the fulfillment of biblical prophecy? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the mysteries of the past are resurfacing, and the signs of the times are growing ever clearer.
He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. She named him Moses.
End time sign? Chilling discovery in Moses' tomb alarms the faithful. For centuries, the search for Moses' final resting place has intrigued scholars, theologians, and believers alike. Moses, a towering figure in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, played a pivotal role in leading the Israelites out of Egypt, receiving divine commandments and guiding his people through the wilderness. Yet, his ultimate fate remains a mystery shrouded in legend. The book of Deuteronomy states that Moses died in Moab and was buried by God himself in an unknown location. But could recent discoveries shed new light on this ancient enigma? A recent archaeological find has sparked intense debate and speculation, leaving many to wonder. Could this be a sign of the end times? The story of Moses is filled with miracles, divine encounters, and pivotal moments that shape the destiny of an entire nation. One such moment occurred when the Israelites, wandering through the desert, found themselves in desperate need of water after the death of Miriam. Her well, a miraculous source of water that had followed them through their journey, had dried up. The people, fearing for their lives, turned to Moses for help. In response, God instructed Moses to take his staff and speak to a rock from which water would flow. However, in a moment of frustration, Moses struck the rock instead of speaking to it. Water gushed forth, quenching the thirst of the Israelites, yet the act of striking the rock rather than following God's precise command led to grave consequences. This act, seen as a failure to fully trust in God's instructions, resulted in Moses being denied entry into the Promised Land. This moment marked a shift in the Israelites' journey, one where they had to rely not on visible miracles, but on a deeper, unwavering faith in God's Word. This event resonates deeply with many believers today, who see parallels between the trials of the Israelites and the modern world's struggle to maintain faith amidst uncertainty. Could it be that new discoveries related to Moses are meant to awaken humanity to the importance of obedience and trust in divine guidance? As scholars continue to analyze biblical history, new discoveries occasionally emerge, offering fresh insights into ancient events. One such revelation has surfaced in the Sea of Galilee, a structure dating back approximately 4,000 years to the Bronze Age. This massive formation, composed of carefully placed basalt stones, has puzzled archaeologists, raising questions about its purpose and potential links to the biblical narrative. Could this enigmatic structure be connected to Miriam's well or another significant event from the time of Moses? Recent analysis of 3D imaging has revealed that this structure was undoubtedly man-made, ruling out any natural geological formations. The massive size and complexity of the arrangement indicate that it required advanced construction skills and a well-organized workforce. The structure's remote location, far from any known basalt sources, suggests that its builders went to great lengths to transport and position the stones. Such a discovery only deepens the mystery. Was this a monument, a place of worship, or something more? Some scholars speculate that it could be tied to the Exodus journey, offering a tangible connection between biblical events and historical records. While the underwater structure in the Sea of Galilee has stirred significant discussion, another discovery in the Negev desert has sent shockwaves through the archaeological and religious communities. A team of researchers, tirelessly scouring the harsh terrain, uncovered what appeared to be an ancient tomb hidden beneath layers of sand. The entrance, obscured by shifting dunes for millennia, bore markings that hinted at a long-forgotten era. Inside, the explorers found walls adorned with intricate inscriptions, hieroglyphs telling tales of miracles, divine encounters, and a journey of liberation. At the center of the chamber lay a sarcophagus of ancient stone, untouched by time. As the team carefully lifted the lid, they found what appeared to be the remains of a man whose story has echoed through the ages: Moses. The significance of this discovery left the researchers in awe, and the world now waits for further analysis to confirm its authenticity. Could this be the final resting place of the prophet who led his people to freedom? If so, what does this mean for believers worldwide? Some see this as a sign of the end times, a reminder that the great prophecies of old are coming to fulfillment. The book of Daniel and Revelation speak of a time when hidden truths will be revealed, shaking the very foundations of human understanding. If this tomb indeed belongs to Moses, it could serve as a divine message, urging people to prepare for what is to come. The search for Moses' tomb has long been a subject of fascination. In Islamic tradition, a site known as Nabi Musa in present-day Jordan has been revered as the burial place of Moses. This location, deeply significant in Islamic history, is believed to be the place where Moses prayed before his death. Built in the 13th century, the shrine of Nabi Musa has been a site of pilgrimage for centuries. Interestingly, the Bible describes how Moses ascended Mount Nebo, looked upon the promised land, and passed away without ever setting foot in it. Christian tradition has long associated Mount Nebo with Moses' death, and the remains of an ancient church built in the 4th century lend further weight to this belief. The newly discovered tomb in the Negev, however, presents another possible answer to this enduring mystery. With its intricate carvings, extensive inscriptions, and the reverent nature of its construction, it stands as a compelling candidate for the final resting place of the great prophet. As archaeologists continue to investigate, the faithful await further evidence that could confirm or refute this groundbreaking claim. For many believers, the sudden emergence of these discoveries is no coincidence. In a time of increasing global turmoil, where moral decay and spiritual confusion seem prevalent, could these revelations be divine warnings? The Bible warns that in the last days, knowledge will increase and hidden things will come to light. Some interpret these findings as part of a greater unfolding plan, one meant to reignite faith, call people to repentance, and remind humanity of the power and presence of God. Could the discovery of this mysterious tomb serve as a catalyst for renewed faith and devotion? Could it be a message to the world, urging people to reflect on their spiritual lives before the return of Christ? Whether one views it as an archaeological breakthrough or a prophetic sign, one thing is certain. This discovery has captured the world's attention and stirred the hearts of millions. As researchers continue to unravel the mysteries surrounding Moses' final resting place, the faithful remain watchful, waiting for what may come next. The past and present seem to be colliding in ways never before imagined, leaving us to wonder, are we on the brink of witnessing the fulfillment of ancient prophecies? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: the search for Moses' tomb has not only unearthed historical wonders, but has also rekindled an age-old spiritual quest for truth.
Right there, right to the left of this hill corner.
Muhammad's miraculous journey from Jerusalem has long been a topic of deep discussion, not only in Islamic tradition, but also in interfaith dialogues concerning the great prophets of history. Among the many stories intertwined with this journey is the lingering question of where Moses, one of the most significant prophets in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, was truly buried. This enigma has fascinated scholars, religious followers, and historians alike, leading many, like Josh and Tafi, to search for answers at Nabi Musa, the site believed by some to be Moses' final resting place. Descending the steps into the revered grounds of Nabi Musa, Josh felt the weight of the historical significance surrounding him. he stood before what is considered by many in the Islamic tradition to be the tomb of Moses. His companion, Tafi, a knowledgeable guide, recounted the long-standing tales and traditions associated with this sacred place. This site dates back to the 13th century, Tafi explained, and for centuries, people have come here seeking spiritual connection and insight into the life and legacy of Moses. Yet, despite all the reverence and records, there is still so much we don't know. Tolfi, another companion, reflected on the challenge of differentiating historical facts from myth, acknowledging that stories about Moses' burial place had been passed down through generations, blending oral traditions with written records. These accounts often felt like puzzle pieces, forming a narrative that was part history, part legend. Nabi Musa, once a serene and secluded sanctuary, now welcomes visitors from around the world, each seeking to connect with the past in their own way. However, a profound question remains. How do we reconcile religious beliefs with archaeological findings? For scholars and historians, the pursuit of truth is often complicated by unexplainable phenomena. Their work goes beyond unearthing artifacts. It involves respecting cultural beliefs while striving to uncover the past's realities. As Josh explored Nabi Musa, he found himself contemplating the profound intersection of faith, history, and cultural legacy. The quest to determine Moses' burial site held deeper significance in the lands of Palestine, where history and spirituality have always been deeply intertwined. For Josh, this journey was not just about examining an ancient tomb, it was about understanding the spiritual weight of Moses' legacy. Whether or not the tomb at Nabi Musa held the remains of Moses, one thing was clear: Moses' impact transcended borders, customs, and even religious divisions. He left the site with a sense of awe, realizing that some mysteries may forever elude human understanding. Yet, in the journey of seeking truth, there is comfort in faith. The uncertainty surrounding Moses' burial has sparked curiosity and speculation for centuries. Some religious scholars propose that God intentionally concealed Moses' final resting place. The Bible does not explicitly explain why Moses' grave was hidden, but commentators suggest that God did so to prevent it from becoming an object of worship. Given Moses' unparalleled significance, there was concern that people might revere his remains instead of focusing on God's teachings. By keeping his burial site a mystery, the emphasis remained on his message rather than his physical presence. In Deuteronomy 34:6, the Bible states that Moses was buried in a valley opposite Beth Peor, yet no one knows his exact burial site. Mount Nebo, where Moses is said to have viewed the Promised Land before passing away, has held historical and spiritual significance for centuries. Located in modern-day Jordan, Mount Nebo has been a site of pilgrimage and theological reflection. In the second book of Maccabees, it is also mentioned that the prophet Jeremiah hid the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant in a cave there, further deepening the site's biblical relevance. Today, Mount Nebo remains an important location for believers. A Christian church, dating back to Byzantine times, stands at its summit. Over the years, the site has been visited by prominent religious figures. On March 20th, 2000, Pope John Paul II made a pilgrimage to Mount Nebo, planting an olive tree next to the Byzantine chapel as a symbol of peace. In 2009, Pope Benedict XVI followed in his footsteps, delivering a speech and reflecting on the significance of the location. At the summit of Mount Nebo stands a serpentine cross sculpture created by Italian artist Gian Paolo Fantoni. This sculpture symbolizes both the bronze serpent miracle from the Book of Numbers, in which Moses lifted a serpent to heal the Israelites, and the cross upon which Jesus was crucified. The mention of Beth Peor as the site of Moses' burial carries profound theological significance. In biblical history, Beth Peor was originally a Moabite settlement known for idol worship, particularly the worship of the deity Baal. When the Israelites conquered the region, they renamed the settlement Beth Peor, symbolizing a rejection of idolatry in favor of monotheistic worship. Some scholars believe that God choosing Beth Peor as Moses' burial place was an intentional message, a final reminder of the dangers of idolatry and the importance of unwavering faith in God. While the precise location of Moses' grave remains unknown, its mystery serves as a powerful testament to faith. It challenges believers to look beyond physical relics and artifacts, urging them to trust in the wisdom of the divine. The question of Moses' final resting place is not just a historical curiosity, it is a call to reflect on spiritual truths. Beyond the search for Moses' tomb, another recent discovery has stirred debate and wonder among scholars and historians alike. In the depths of the Sea of Galilee, an unusual underwater formation has sparked widespread curiosity. This structure, believed to date back to the Bronze Age, has prompted researchers to re-examine historical narratives. Through advanced surveys and careful studies, evidence suggests that this submerged formation may have been human-made, leading to speculation about its connection to ancient civilizations and biblical events. The structure's intricate design raises numerous questions about its origins and purpose. Could it be linked to ancient settlements that once thrived around the Sea of Galilee? Or perhaps it holds ties to forgotten religious traditions that have long since faded into obscurity. While the answers remain elusive, this discovery underscores the ever-evolving nature of historical exploration. Each new finding has the potential to reshape our understanding of the past, bridging the gap between archaeology and faith. As researchers sift through ancient sands and decipher old texts, the truth about Moses' final resting place remains just out of reach. The mystery endures, serving as a reminder that not all questions have clear answers. The enigma of Moses' burial challenges us to embrace the limits of human knowledge while remaining open to the divine mysteries beyond our comprehension. Whether hidden beneath the waves of history or honored at Nabi Musa, Moses' legacy continues to inspire and guide people across the world. His story is not just one of miracles and leadership, it is a testament to the enduring quest for truth. In our pursuit of knowledge, we must remain humble, recognizing that some mysteries are meant to lead us toward deeper spiritual reflection rather than absolute conclusions. The search for Moses' burial place is more than a historical investigation. It is a spiritual journey. It reminds us that faith and the pursuit of truth go hand in hand. While we may never uncover definitive proof of where Moses was laid to rest, his legacy remains a guiding light through the ages. And perhaps, in the end, the mystery itself is a divine lesson, one that encourages us to seek wisdom, embrace wonder, and trust in the unseen.
After all, someone this significant must have been buried with some real pomp and circumstance. So I just have one question. Where's Moses?
Here we have the tomb.
The tomb of Moses?
Yes, here. Up, please.
Wow. So this is the burial?
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered about the mysteries surrounding one of history's most iconic figures, Moses? Revered by Christianity, Islam, and Judaism alike, Moses is a towering figure in the story of faith and miracles. But there's one enigma that has baffled the world for centuries: his final resting place. The Bible tells us his burial site has always remained hidden, shrouded in secrecy, until now. Recent claims by modern-day explorer Josh Gates suggest that the tomb of Moses has been uncovered, a discovery that could change everything we thought we knew. But that's not the most shocking part. What Gates says he found inside has sent shockwaves through religious communities worldwide, leaving believers and skeptics alike stunned and terrified. What did he uncover? And why is it shaking the very foundations of faith across the globe? Stick around, because this revelation is unlike anything you've ever heard before.
Okay, if there is a historical Moses, where is this guy? I mean, where was he buried?
According to the biblical tradition, he ended on the other side of it.
Moses stands as one of the most revered figures in the religious history of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, celebrated as a prophet, leader, and lawgiver. His extraordinary life and legacy have profoundly influenced religious beliefs and practices for millions across the globe. The narrative of Moses is predominantly documented in the Hebrew Bible, especially within the books of Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Despite the extensive accounts of his achievements, one enduring mystery continues to intrigue scholars and believers alike: the location of Moses' final resting place. Although tradition associates his burial site with Mount Nebo, modern investigations, including those by explorer Josh Gates, have rekindled debates and sparked new interest in whether his tomb has indeed been discovered. Moses' life begins with dramatic contrasts and divine interventions. Born around 1391 BCE, during a time of great oppression for the Hebrews, Moses was a Hebrew by birth, but was raised as an Egyptian prince. The Hebrews, enslaved under Pharaoh's rule, faced harsh decrees, including one that mandated the killing of all Hebrew male infants to curb their population. In an act of desperation and faith, Moses' mother, Jochebed, placed her infant son in a basket and set it adrift on the Nile River. The basket was discovered by Pharaoh's daughter, who took pity on the child and adopted him, naming him Moses, which means drawn out of the water. Raised within the splendor of the Egyptian royal court, Moses enjoyed the privileges of an Egyptian prince. Yet, he remained aware of his Hebrew heritage. As he grew older, this awareness became a source of internal conflict. Around the age of 40, Moses witnessed an Egyptian taskmaster brutally beating a Hebrew slave. In a fit of anger, he killed the taskmaster and buried his body in the sand. When the act became known, Pharaoh sought to execute Moses, forcing him to flee Egypt. He sought refuge in the land of Midian, located in the northwestern Arabian Peninsula. There, Moses married Zipporah, the daughter of Jethro, a Midianite priest, and spent the next 40 years as a shepherd. At the age of 80, Moses had a transformative encounter with God on Mount Horeb, also known as Mount Sinai. While tending his flock, he noticed a bush that burned without being consumed. From this miraculous sight, God spoke to Moses, commanding him to return to Egypt and lead the Israelites out of slavery. Initially hesitant and feeling inadequate for such a monumental task, Moses expressed his doubts. However, God reassured him with promises of divine signs and miracles that would validate his mission to both the Israelites and Pharaoh. Returning to Egypt, Moses partnered with his brother Aaron, who acted as his spokesperson. Together, they approached Pharaoh with a bold demand: the release of the Israelites. Pharaoh's refusal set the stage for a series of 10 devastating plagues unleashed upon Egypt by God. These plagues ranged from turning the Nile River into blood to infestations of frogs, gnats, and locusts, culminating in the death of all firstborn sons in Egypt. This final harrowing plague broke Pharaoh's resistance, and he reluctantly allowed the Israelites to leave. As the Israelites began their journey to freedom, Pharaoh's army pursued them, trapping them at the Red Sea. In a miraculous act of divine intervention, Moses stretched out his staff, and the waters parted, creating a dry path for the Israelites to cross. When the Egyptian army followed, the waters returned, drowning Pharaoh's forces. This event, celebrated as one of the most extraordinary miracles in religious history, marked the Israelites' definitive escape from slavery. Their journey to the promised land of Canaan, however, was fraught with challenges and took 40 years. During this period, Moses emerged as a steadfast leader, mediator, and provider for the Israelites. He received God's laws on Mount Sinai, including the 10 Commandments, which became the cornerstone of Jewish law and later influenced Christian and Islamic ethics. Despite divine provisions of manna and water, the Israelites frequently rebelled and doubted God's promises. In one notable instance, Moses struck a rock to produce water, an act of disobedience since God had commanded him to speak to the rock instead. As a consequence, Moses was forbidden from entering the Promised Land. Nevertheless, God allowed him to see it from a distance before his death. The Bible recounts that Moses died at the age of 120 on Mount Nebo, located in present-day Jordan. Before his death, he was granted a vision of the Promised Land, but God declared he would not enter it. The scripture in Deuteronomy 34:6 states that God himself buried Moses in an undisclosed location, adding, "To this day, no one knows where his grave is." This enigmatic detail has fueled centuries of speculation and fascination regarding the location of Moses' tomb. Moses' death marked the end of his leadership, with the mantle passing to Joshua, who would lead the Israelites into the Promised Land. Despite Moses' pivotal role in biblical history, no archaeological evidence has conclusively identified his burial site. Mount Nebo has long been associated with Moses' death and burial. It remains a significant pilgrimage site, with historical and religious landmarks commemorating Moses' legacy. However, the lack of definitive evidence regarding his burial has led to ongoing speculation and intrigue. In recent years, explorer Josh Gates has undertaken efforts to investigate the mystery surrounding Moses' tomb, bringing new attention to this age-old enigma. Gates, known for his explorations of historical mysteries, examined ancient texts and local folklore to uncover clues about Moses' final resting place. While some accounts support the traditional association with Mount Nebo, others suggest the possibility of a more concealed or remote location. The biblical narrative emphasizes the secrecy of Moses' burial, which may indicate that his tomb was intentionally hidden to prevent it from becoming a site of veneration or idolatry. Josh Gates's investigations have sparked renewed interest in the search for Moses' tomb. By analyzing historical records and engaging with local traditions, Gates and his team have uncovered tantalizing hints suggesting that the true location of Moses' burial may remain undiscovered, waiting to be revealed. These efforts underscore the enduring fascination with Moses' life and legacy. Whether Moses' tomb is ultimately found or remains hidden, his story continues to inspire and captivate. As a prophet, leader, and lawgiver, Moses not only shaped the course of history for the Israelites, but also left an indelible mark on the religious and moral foundations of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The mystery of his burial only adds to the profound sense of awe surrounding his life and legacy, ensuring that his story remains a central pillar of faith and exploration for generations to come.
It's always exciting. Sometimes there is even between the workmen a bit of a competition. Who will find first?
The Sea of Galilee, located in northern Israel, is the largest freshwater lake in the country. It has long been a place of historical and religious significance, frequently mentioned in the Bible for its association with key events in the life of Jesus and the early Christian church. However, the region has also been the subject of exploration for clues about the burial site of Moses, a figure of monumental importance in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. This search for the final resting place of Moses has intrigued historians, archaeologists, and explorers for centuries. One such modern-day expedition was led by Josh Gates and his team, who embarked on a quest to uncover potential evidence related to Moses' burial, focusing on the Sea of Galilee and its surrounding areas. The journey began in early 2018, when Josh Gates and his team started planning their expedition. They gathered historical documents, maps, and other resources to help them determine where to begin their search. Their goal was to explore underwater sites in and around the Sea of Galilee that might hold ancient artifacts or structures connected to Moses' burial. The team included a diverse group of experts, such as underwater archaeologists, historians, and diving professionals, all of whom contributed to the project's design and execution. Equipped with state-of-the-art technology, the team used a combination of modern tools to assist their investigation. One of the most crucial pieces of technology in the search was satellite imagery. By analyzing satellite photos, the team could identify geographical features and terrain that matched descriptions from ancient texts, potentially leading them to significant sites. Mapping software was also used to create detailed maps of the areas the team planned to explore. This careful mapping allowed them to have a comprehensive understanding of the landscape and better target locations that might yield promising results. Ground-penetrating radar, GPR, proved to be an essential tool for this search. GPR is a non-invasive method that uses radar pulses to image the subsurface of the ground. The technique allows archaeologists to detect buried structures or anomalies without the need for excavation, which made it particularly useful in exploring the underwater sites of the Sea of Galilee. In addition to GPR, drones equipped with high-resolution cameras were deployed to capture aerial images of the surrounding area. These aerial shots provided a broader view of the terrain and helped the team identify any unusual features or structures that might not have been visible from the ground. The drones also allowed the team to access hard-to-reach places, such as cliffs and steep terrain, that would have otherwise been difficult to investigate. Another advanced technology that proved useful was 3D scanning. This technology allowed the team to create detailed, three-dimensional models of any significant finds, providing a precise and accurate way to document and analyze artifacts and structures. These 3D models also enabled the team to share their discoveries with other experts and the public, offering a clearer understanding of their findings. The team's first significant discovery came in October 2018 when they uncovered an ancient submerged structure in the lake. The structure, a circular stone monument, measured approximately 230 feet in diameter and stood about 32 feet high. The monument, made of large basalt rocks, resembled a cairn, a type of stone mound that is often associated with ancient burial practices. The discovery of such a structure was an important development in the search for Moses' tomb, as it suggested the potential presence of a burial site or monument. While there was no direct evidence to link the cairn to Moses, its construction and placement near the Sea of Galilee made it a strong candidate for further investigation. The team spent several weeks carefully examining the site, removing layers of silt and sediment to reveal more of the structure. This process was slow and meticulous, as the team had to ensure that no damage was done to the ancient stones. They used traditional archaeological tools, such as shovels, trowels, brushes, and sieves, to excavate the area around the cairn and search for any artifacts or inscriptions that might offer further clues. During the excavation, they discovered a number of artifacts, including pottery shards and tools, which indicated that the site could be thousands of years old. However, despite the significant findings, there was no conclusive evidence to directly link the structure to Moses. In addition to the artifacts, the team used carbon dating to determine the age of the pottery and tools found at the site. The results suggested that the artifacts dated back to around the time Moses is believed to have lived, roughly 3,200 years ago. This information added an intriguing layer to the mystery of Moses' burial, but it did not offer any direct confirmation that the cairn was connected to the biblical figure. The team also explored ancient texts and local legends, which spoke of submerged cities and monuments in the region, though none of these references specifically mentioned Moses. Nonetheless, the discovery of the cairn was seen as a valuable contribution to the ongoing search for Moses' final resting place. By early 2019, Gates and his team had mapped the entire structure and collected as much data as possible, but they did not uncover any definitive evidence linking the site to Moses. Despite this, the search for Moses' tomb continues to be an area of great interest. The expedition to the Sea of Galilee raised new questions and theories about where Moses might be buried, and it sparked further research into other potential locations. Interestingly, the search for Moses' burial site is not confined to Jewish or Christian traditions. In Islam, Moses, or Musa, is also considered a major prophet, and there are different accounts of his final resting place. One of the most prominent sites associated with Moses' burial in Islam is the Nabi Musa shrine, located in the Judean desert, near the Dead Sea and about 18.6 miles east of Jerusalem. In Islamic tradition, Moses is regarded as one of the most important prophets, and his story is central to the Quran, where he is mentioned more times than any other prophet. The Quran highlights Moses' role in leading the Israelites out of Egypt and receiving the Torah from God, and his story teaches Muslims about the importance of faith, perseverance, and divine guidance. The Nabi Musa shrine has been a significant religious site for Muslims for centuries. The association of this site with Moses dates back to the medieval Islamic period, particularly around the 13th century. During the time of the Mamluk Sultanate, the Mamluk ruler Sultan Baybars began constructing a shrine and mosque at the site, solidifying its connection to Moses. Over the centuries, the site has become an important place of pilgrimage for Muslims who believe it is the burial place of Moses. While the exact location of Moses' tomb remains a subject of debate, the Nabi Musa shrine remains one of the most revered sites in Islamic tradition. The search for Moses' final resting place is a multifaceted endeavor that spans different religious traditions and geographical locations. While Josh Gates's team made significant discoveries in the Sea of Galilee, their findings did not conclusively prove that they had found Moses' tomb. However, their exploration highlighted the challenges and mysteries that continue to surround this ancient and iconic figure. As research continues, scholars, historians, and archaeologists will likely keep investigating new sites, both in Israel and in surrounding regions, to uncover more about Moses' life and legacy. The ongoing quest for Moses' burial site, combined with the exploration of other potential locations, ensures that this fascinating mystery will remain a subject of interest for years to come.
Whether Moses is legend or fact, he is a towering figure in all Abrahamic religions.
The Nabi Musa festival is an annual pilgrimage celebrated by Muslims to honor the life and legacy of Prophet Moses. This sacred journey, steeped in history and spirituality, is closely associated with the Islamic observance of Laylat al-Miraj, the night journey and ascension of Prophet Muhammad to heaven. During the pilgrimage, believers travel to a site near the Dead Sea in Jordan, traditionally thought to be the burial place of Moses. Over centuries, this site has transformed into a significant center for prayer, reflection, and religious gathering, captivating the hearts and souls of countless pilgrims. The Nabi Musa complex, a cornerstone of the pilgrimage, is a marvel of Islamic medieval architecture. This historical site comprises several key structures, including a mosque, a shrine, and accommodations for pilgrims. Over the years, Islamic authorities have meticulously expanded and renovated the complex, ensuring its preservation for future generations. The mosque serves as a space for daily prayers, while the shrine is the focal point of the pilgrimage, believed to mark the burial place of Moses. Although the precise location of Moses' tomb remains a topic of debate, the site continues to draw immense religious significance for Muslims who seek blessings, offer prayers, and contemplate the Prophet's teachings. The Nabi Musa pilgrimage is not merely a historical tradition, but also a deeply spiritual experience. Pilgrims gather during the festival to perform religious ceremonies, recite verses from the Quran, and engage in communal worship. This collective expression of faith fosters a profound sense of unity among the diverse participants. People from various cultural and ethnic backgrounds converge, bound by their shared devotion to Moses and the teachings of Islam. This event underscores the unifying power of religious observances, transcending differences and reinforcing a sense of community. Personal reflection is another cornerstone of the pilgrimage experience. Many pilgrims visit Nabi Musa to strengthen their faith, meditate on the story of Moses, and draw inspiration from his life. the journey serves as an opportunity to renew their commitment to spiritual values, akin to other major Islamic observances, such as the Hajj to Mecca. Through prayer and reflection, participants deepen their connection to their faith and gain a renewed sense of purpose. In addition to its spiritual significance, the Nabi Musa site serves as an educational hub for visitors eager to learn more about Moses and his role in Islamic tradition. The prophet's life, his depiction in the Quran, and his parallels with other figures from the Abrahamic faiths are illuminated for those who may be less familiar with his legacy. This blending of education and devotion creates a meaningful link between contemporary believers and the rich history of Islam, emphasizing the enduring relevance of Moses' teachings. Preservation of the Nabi Musa complex has been a priority for Islamic authorities. Over the centuries, they have ensured the upkeep of the site's medieval architectural styles while accommodating the growing influx of pilgrims. These efforts reflect a deep respect for the cultural and religious heritage of the site, safeguarding it as a symbol of the Prophet's legacy. The intricate designs and historical significance of the complex stand as testaments to the rich cultural history of Islam. While Nabi Musa is one of the most prominent sites associated with the burial of Moses, it is not the only one. Another location, Jebel Harun, Mount Aaron, in Jordan, also holds significance in the context of Moses' death and burial. Traditionally associated with the burial of Moses' brother Aaron, Jebel Harun has long been a site of religious importance. Some traditions even suggest that Moses himself may be buried there, though this claim remains unverified. The belief in Jebel Harun as a potential burial site for Moses is rooted in biblical narratives, religious traditions, and historical accounts. According to the Bible's Book of Numbers, Moses and Aaron led the Israelites through the wilderness after the exodus from Egypt. When the Israelites reached the border of the Promised Land, Aaron died on Mount Hor, often identified as Jebel Harun. While Aaron's burial is explicitly mentioned in the Bible, Moses' burial remains more ambiguous, with some traditions speculating that he might also be buried in the vicinity of Jebel Harun. Religious traditions across Judaism, Christianity, and Islam have long revered Jebel Harun as a sacred site. Jewish scholars identify it as the location of Aaron's death and burial, while early Christian pilgrims linked it with the biblical stories of Moses and Aaron. Islamic tradition also holds the site in high regard, emphasizing its connection to the Prophet's life and the broader narrative of the Israelites. Archaeological investigations in the region surrounding Petra, an ancient city near Jebel Harun, have unearthed artifacts and inscriptions that provide insights into the religious practices of the time. However, definitive evidence supporting Moses' burial at Jebel Harun remains elusive. Despite this uncertainty, the site continues to be a focal point of religious and historical significance. Recently, reports of discoveries within the Nabi Musa complex have sparked widespread intrigue and speculation among believers and scholars alike. Rumors of hidden chambers and ancient artifacts uncovered during ongoing renovations have captivated the imagination of religious communities. While details remain scarce, these findings are said to offer a deeper understanding of the site's history and its connection to Moses. For many, these discoveries are a reminder of the enduring mystery surrounding the Prophet's burial and the profound impact of his legacy. The possibility of uncovering Moses' tomb or artifacts linked to him evokes a range of emotions among religious people. On one hand, such discoveries could strengthen faith by providing tangible connections to the Prophet's life. On the other hand, they may challenge long-held beliefs and raise questions about historical interpretations. The tension between faith and evidence underscores the complexity of religious traditions and the ways in which they adapt to new findings. The search for Moses' tomb is not merely an archaeological quest, but also a spiritual journey. For believers, it represents a desire to connect with the legacy of one of history's most influential prophets. The story of Moses, his teachings, and his role in shaping moral and ethical codes continue to inspire and guide people across the globe. Whether his tomb is ever definitively located or not, the search itself serves as a testament to the enduring significance of his life and message. Sites like Nabi Musa and Jebel Harun remain pivotal in the spiritual journeys of pilgrims. These locations, steeped in history and tradition, offer spaces for prayer, reflection, and communal worship. They are powerful symbols of Moses' legacy, providing a tangible connection to the past while inspiring devotion in the present. In conclusion, the Nabi Musa pilgrimage and the broader search for Moses' burial site embody the intersection of history, faith, and spirituality. Whether pilgrims visit Nabi Musa or Jebel Harun, they participate in a tradition that honors Moses' pivotal role in the Abrahamic faiths. The recent discoveries within the Nabi Musa complex only add to the allure and mystery of this sacred site, inviting believers to reflect on the profound legacy of a prophet whose influence spans millennia. Ultimately, the story of Moses continues to inspire faith and curiosity, reminding humanity of the enduring power of his teachings.
Okay, if there is a historical Moses, where is this guy? I mean, where was he buried?
According to the biblical tradition, he ended on the other side of the valley.
After all, someone this significant must have been buried with some real pomp and circumstance. So I just have one question. Where's Moses?
In 2021, the entire world erupted in jubilation as scientists from 4 universities discovered the remnants of Noah's Ark, the vessel that saved humanity from extinction 5,000 years ago. Now, in a recent marine expedition, an even more captivating historical mystery has been solved. The exact location of the long-hidden tomb of Moses has been brought to light. This discovery, while exhilarating, has sent ripples of fear through the scientific and theological communities, causing them to question everything they previously knew about faith and history. How was this grave, specially hidden by God Himself, found? And what secrets does this long-lost tomb reveal? Let's find out together. We are Jesus' Eternal Aura. In today's video, you will have appropriate answers to all the questions above. Before you know what happened, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click the bell icon for all the latest updates.
It reminds me of a cairn, or in the other words, an artificial stone mound covering a tomb underneath.
This was a feat that deserved a magnificent burial and a majestic tomb. The man Moses. Who doesn't know the story of Moses? When we count the number of biblical figures who shaped the destiny of nations, we know he would top the list. Moses' legacy is unparalleled, celebrated as a prophet like no other, known for his face-to-face encounters with the Lord and his role in performing miraculous signs in Egypt. His contributions to the Israelite faith and culture were so significant that some have even speculated about the possibility of an ancestral cult created to honor his powerful spirit. This great man led the Israelites out of the bondage of Egypt and received the 10 Commandments, living an extraordinary life, from narrowly escaping a child massacre at birth to becoming the chosen one who liberated his people from captivity. Moses' story is nothing short of captivating. Yet, it beats our imagination how the final chapter of such a great man, whom history should confer a special award upon, became complicated and ultimately veiled in mystery. His death marked the end of an era, the conclusion of the Exodus journey. Unlike many of his contemporaries, the circumstances of his burial are shrouded in secrecy, sparking centuries of speculation and debate. It was recorded that God Himself buried him in a valley in Moab near Beth Peor, but historians have relentlessly searched for his grave to no avail. Until recently, when a group of archaeologists, unwilling to let this mystery remain unsolved, followed a new lead and made a remarkable discovery of this place which has been hidden forever. Please join us as we unfold this mystery layer by layer, starting with Miriam, because it was through her that this remarkable discovery was made possible. the story of Moses would be incomplete without the mention of his sister, Miriam. Miriam's involvement in Moses' life began with her bravery during his infancy. When Pharaoh issued a decree to kill all Hebrew male babies, Miriam, as Moses' older sister, devised a plan to save her brother's life. She placed him in a basket and set him adrift on the Nile River, hoping someone compassionate would find him and offer him protection. Miriam, even as a child, felt so protective over her baby brother and risked much by approaching the daughter of Pharaoh on his behalf. And that's exactly what happened. Fortunately for her, Pharaoh's daughter discovered the infant Moses and adopted him as her own. Seizing the opportunity, Miriam boldly approached the princess and offered to find a Hebrew woman to nurse the child. Thanks to her clever arrangement, Moses was raised by his own mother, Jochebed, while still enjoying the privileges of his adoptive Egyptian family. Fast forward to when Moses had grown up and was called by God to lead his people out of Egypt. Miriam was there by his side every step of the way. We've heard of how Moses confronted Pharaoh many times, but we may not be aware that he didn't do it alone. Miriam and Aaron were with him at every point, lending their strength and support. But her contributions didn't stop there. While Moses handled the daunting task of leading the people, Miriam took on the role of encouraging them. Though she was a woman's leader, her strength and wisdom inspired all. She was also a great musician whose voice could provoke God's intervention, as seen in the later part of this story. Just after crossing the Red Sea on dry land and witnessing the defeat of Pharaoh and his army, she took a timbrel in her hand, and together with the women, she sang and danced, exalting God for his mighty acts and for liberating them. The full story can be seen in the book of Exodus 15:20. Miriam was all shades of amazing. Did we mention she was also a prophetess who had a unique connection with the divine? Her ability to convey messages from God allowed her to inspire and guide the Israelites during their arduous journey, providing them with spiritual sustenance and direction. Despite the roles she played, it was one event that etched her name forever on the sands of time. As the Israelites journeyed through the dry wilderness after their freedom from Egypt, a growing sense of desperation began to take hold. The sun had scorched them so hard that they had to consume more water than usual, and in a short interval, they had completely run out of water. Historians theorize that after crossing the Red Sea, the Israelites would have wandered in this very desert. As the team retraced their steps, it was easy to see why water was foremost in their minds. This was the beginning of their problems. They became weak, the journey slowed down, and the burden became so unbearable that despite their joy over the miraculous parting of the Red Sea and the death of the Egyptian chariots, a gloomy spell was cast upon these once vibrant people. Struggling to survive the harsh wilderness, the cries of the Israelites grew more desperate as they begged Moses for help, requesting water to quench their thirst with cracked voices and dry throats. Feeling the immense weight of leading this large multitude through the unyielding desert, Moses turned to God for guidance. God instructed Moses to strike a rock with his staff, and water gushed forth, quenching their thirst and reviving their spirits. This miraculous provision reminded the Israelites of God's constant presence and care. Despite their hardships, their faith was strengthened through these trials. Miriam, alongside Moses and Aaron, continued to lead and inspire the people, ensuring they remained united and focused on their journey to the Promised Land. The story of Moses and Miriam is one of courage, faith, and divine intervention. Their legacies are intertwined, each playing a crucial role in the survival and spiritual growth of the Israelites. As we continue to explore the mysteries surrounding their lives and deaths, we gain a deeper appreciation for their extraordinary contributions to history and faith. Join us as we delve further into these timeless stories, uncovering the layers of history that continue to inspire and captivate us. Moses heard the desperate cries of his people and knew he had to find a solution to their dire predicament. As he pondered their situation, a ray of hope appeared in the form of an oasis called Mara. Overjoyed that God had heard their cries, the Israelites rushed to drink the water, only to discover it was bitter and undrinkable. Their hopes were cruelly dashed, and they cried out in anguish, their wails echoing across the desert. It seemed to them that they were doomed to die in the wilderness. In their distress, Moses turned to God for guidance and intervention. Amid the chaos, Miriam, Moses' sister, did something extraordinary. She stepped forward and began to sing songs of faith and hope, drawing strength from the God who had delivered them from Egypt. This act moved God deeply. As her song ascended to the heavens, the Lord provided a miraculous solution. He instructed Moses to cast a piece of wood into the bitter waters. Moses obeyed, and to everyone's astonishment, the water transformed into sweet, drinkable water. The camp erupted in jubilation as the Israelites drank their fill, their strength and spirits renewed. This oasis, with its 12 springs, still exists today. One of these springs, now cemented over the years, stands behind me as a testament to Miriam's significant role in this divine intervention. The created well was named after her, and from that day forward, it became known as the Well of Miriam. Shaped like a sieve-like rock, this well provided water and followed the Israelites on their journey, offering a constant source of fresh, pure water. Yes, you heard that right. The well followed them. It moved with the Israelites, settling opposite the tabernacle whenever they paused. Whenever they needed water, an elder from each of the 12 tribes would approach the well of Miriam with a staff or stick, chanting words to the well. As soon as they finished, water would shoot up like pillars, then discharge into streams and rivers, separating the camp into different parts. This continued for years, ensuring the Israelites always had access to water. However, this miraculous provision ended when Miriam fell ill and died. Immediately after her death, the well dried up, leaving the Israelites once again without water. This moment marked a significant change in Moses' life and his journey to the Promised Land. After Miriam's death and burial in Kadesh, the Israelites continued their journey through the desert. It wasn't long before they found themselves in the desert of Zin. Once again, they complained to Moses and Aaron about the lack of water, just as they had done before. They quarreled with Moses, expressing their frustration and questioning why they had been brought to the desert to die of thirst. This was a challenging time for Moses and his brother. In response, they went before the tent of meeting and prostrated themselves before God, seeking his guidance on how to provide water for the people. Eventually, God answered them, instructing Moses and Aaron to gather the assembly and speak to the rock, promising that water would come forth for the community and their livestock. But instead of speaking to the rock as God commanded, Moses, frustrated with the Israelites, struck the rock twice with his staff, saying, "Listen, you rebels, must we bring you water out of this rock?" Water did come out, fulfilling God's promise. However, God was displeased with Moses' disobedience and lack of faith. In his anger, he declared that although Moses would see the Promised Land from a distance, he would not be allowed to enter it. This sealed Moses' fate, and nothing could change it. At the age of 120 years, after surveying the Promised Land from Moab, Moses died. God himself buried Moses in an unknown place, starting the search for his tomb. You will be amazed by the efforts put into finding Moses' tomb. So sit tight as we reveal the details of this groundbreaking discovery. Based on records in the book of Deuteronomy, Moses was buried in Moab, in the valley opposite Beth Peor. The Almighty's servant died there in Moab, just as the Almighty said he would. The Almighty buried Moses in a valley near the town of Beth Peor. In another account, he was buried on Mount Nebo, located in Jordan. Some theologians even suggest that Moses never died, but was taken directly to heaven, like Enoch and Elijah in the Bible. The question is, which of these accounts is true? We will find out in the revelation we're about to make, so pay close attention. Remember, at the beginning of this video, we mentioned that Miriam's well played a role in discovering Moses' tomb. Well, this is the point where those dots will be connected, and you will see the whole picture we've been trying to paint. The search for Moses' tomb was intense and full of challenges. Scholars and theologians scoured the valley of Beth Peor and the heights of Mount Nebo, guided by ancient texts and oral traditions. Some even speculated that the well of Miriam held a clue to Moses' final resting place. In their quest, researchers discovered that the well, which had dried up after Miriam's death, had left a trail of clues. It was believed that the well's final resting place before drying up was near Moses' tomb. Following this lead, they explored the regions where the well might have last flowed. As they dug deeper, both literally and metaphorically, they uncovered ancient inscriptions and artifacts that hinted at Moses' presence. One particularly significant discovery was an inscription on a stone slab that referred to the place where the prophet rests, watched over by the waters. This clue led them to a secluded valley near Beth Peor, where they found a cave. Inside the cave, they discovered a chamber with markings that resembled those described in ancient texts as the burial place of a revered leader. Further investigation revealed more signs that this could indeed be Moses' tomb. The cave's location matched the descriptions found in various historical records. Moreover, the inscriptions and artifacts within the cave provided strong evidence that it was a significant and sacred site. The discovery of Moses' tomb not only solved a long-standing mystery, but also brought a sense of closure to the many who had searched for it over the centuries. This remarkable finding reaffirmed the historical and spiritual significance of Moses' journey and the miraculous events that marked his leadership. This fascinating story, we reflect on the enduring legacy of Moses, Miriam, and the Israelites' journey through the desert. Their faith, resilience, and the divine interventions they experienced continue to inspire and captivate us. The well of Miriam and the search for Moses' tomb remind us of the profound connections between history, faith, and the enduring quest for truth. Josh Gates, the renowned archaeologist and television host, embarked on a remarkable journey with his team to the depths of the Sea of Galilee. This expedition aimed to uncover secrets hidden beneath the waters of this historically rich region. Gates chose the Sea of Galilee because it lies in the same area where Moses and the Israelites are believed to have traveled during their exodus from Egypt to the Promised Land. The anticipation was palpable as Gates and his team prepared for a comprehensive data collection mission. Using a seismic airgun, the team sent shock waves through the water to scan the lakebed for any unusual features. The goal was to identify anything that could be connected to the biblical Miriam's well or an elusive ancient tomb. Eager to gather as much data as possible, Gates urged the team to fire the airgun repeatedly. They obliged, setting off charges in a circular pattern around the mysterious underwater feature they had detected. The seismic survey produced an abundance of data, allowing scientists to create a detailed 3D image of the lakebed. Professor Marco, the lead scientist, pointed out that the structure extended beneath accumulated sediment, suggesting it was built at least 4,000 years ago during the Bronze Age. This time frame coincides with the period of the Exodus story, making it a significant find. The sediment layer indicated that the structure was ancient, built before the sediment had a chance to accumulate. As they continued their analysis, the team was shocked to discover that the 3D image revealed an unnatural, constructed formation on the otherwise flat lake floor. One of the expedition members noted that the formation was not natural. It appeared to be a deliberate construction of basalt stones transported from another site. This observation struck a chord with Gates. Turning to one of the archaeologists, he remarked that the structure resembled an artificial stone mound, potentially covering a tomb. Curious about the possibility of something being buried inside, Gates asked the scientist if it was conceivable. To his surprise, the scientist agreed, suggesting that it could be an untouched tomb, possibly the only one of its kind in the region. The idea that they might have found Moses' tomb began to take shape. The team pondered whether the structure could be connected to the Exodus story or even Miriam's well, which might have been submerged over time. Excitement grew as Gates proposed that the next step was to investigate what lay inside the structure. He suspected it could be the untouched tomb of an ancient figure, potentially Moses. This discovery could be groundbreaking, providing new insights into the biblical narrative. Although much work remained, this find was a significant step toward unraveling the mystery. But the question remained: had Josh Gates found Moses' tomb? To find the exact location of this burial place, which has puzzled archaeologists for centuries, experts turned to accounts in the holy texts. They hoped to find clues that could match biblical sites to their modern locations. However, their initial efforts yielded no results. The book of Deuteronomy stated that Moses was laid to rest in a valley across from Beth Peor, but explorations of the area revealed no signs of his grave. Having reached a dead end with the biblical accounts, the experts turned to Islamic tradition, hoping to find clues in their holy texts or the sayings of Prophet Muhammad. This approach brought a new perspective. The significance of Moses, or Musa as he is known in Islamic tradition, extends far beyond the Judeo-Christian world. He is mentioned over 130 times in the Quran, more than any other prophet, highlighting his immense importance in Islamic teachings. Religious scholars noted that the secrecy surrounding Moses' burial was intentional. They believed that the concealment of his final resting place was to prevent idolatry or excessive veneration at his gravesite. However, early in their quest, the team encountered a significant challenge. While the Quran's narrative matched the biblical account of Moses' mission to lead the Israelites and his role as a recipient of divine messages, it offered a different perspective on the location of his final resting place. The Islamic tradition did not provide a specific location for Moses' grave, emphasizing instead the importance of his mission and teachings. This perspective underscored the spiritual significance of Moses rather than the physical location of his burial. Despite this, the team remained determined to find answers. The journey continued, blending archaeological investigation with historical and religious scholarship. Gates and his team explored various sites, analyzed ancient texts, and consulted with religious experts. Each step brought them closer to understanding the historical and spiritual context of their findings. As they pieced together the clues, the team considered other potential sites mentioned in various traditions. They examined geographical features, historical records, and cultural practices to identify possible connections to Moses' story. This multifaceted approach enriched their understanding and guided their search. The quest to find Moses' tomb became more than an archaeological endeavor. It was a journey through history, faith, and cultural heritage. Each discovery, whether a piece of ancient pottery or a new interpretation of a holy text, added to the tapestry of their investigation. While the final resting place of Moses remained elusive, the journey itself revealed the profound impact of his legacy on different cultures and religious traditions. Gates and his team continued their search, driven by the hope that one day they might uncover the tomb and provide new insights into the life of one of history's most significant figures. In the end, the expedition was a testament to the enduring quest for knowledge and understanding. It highlighted the importance of interdisciplinary collaboration, respect for religious traditions, and the relentless pursuit of answers. Whether or not they found Moses' tomb, the journey had deepened their appreciation of the historical and spiritual significance of the region and its ancient stories. As Gates and his team prepared for the next chapter of their search, they remained optimistic. The Sea of Galilee, with its rich history and hidden secrets, held the promise of many more discoveries. The quest for Moses' tomb was far from over, and each new clue brought them closer to unraveling one of history's greatest mysteries.